Are you just trolling me now? There we go.
The document you requested from HR.
6 p.m. What's time? Everybody ready?
Overridden.
You gotta get those new,
You're ready.
Good evening, everyone. I will now call this meeting of May 19th, 2025 to order with an invocation and pledge led by Vice Mayor Young.
may we bow. Most holy and gracious God, we pause for a moment, O God, to tell you thank you. We thank you for allowing us this time, O God, this day, this time, this moment. And we ask, O God, that you just carry us out through this meeting. Fix our hearts and our minds, O God, that we would do what's desiring in your sight, most of all, O God, and then what's in the best interest of this city. Make our minds about business right now, O God. Forget all those things that could steer us in a different direction. We ask that you be with all of us. We ask that you be with all of our servicemen, oh God, all who work our highways, our byways, all of our community workers, help all of our residents. Just bless Lake City as a whole. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Welcome, everyone. Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Jernigan,
Present.
Councilmember Harris,
Present.
Councilmember Young,
Here.
Councilmember Carter,
Present.
Mayor Walker,
Here.
City Manager Rosenthal,
Here.
City Attorney Martin,
Present.
Chief Butler.
Ladies and gentlemen, the City Council has opened its public meeting, and since 1968, the City Code has prohibited any person from making personal, impertinent, or slanderous remarks or becoming boisterous while addressing the council. Yelling or making audible comments from the audience constitutes boisterous conduct. Such conduct will not be tolerated. There is only one approved manner of addressing the City Council, and that's to be recognized and speak from the podium. As a reminder, persons are not to openly carry a handgun or carry a concealed firearm or weapon while the governing body is meeting. Failure to abide by the rules of decorum will result in removal from the meeting. And now we will move to approval of the agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the agenda.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, like sign? All right. And now we will move into our proclamations and awards. We have one award today, and that is to our wastewater program. And the award is the Florida Water Environment Association's David W. York Award for a reuse project of the year. This is presented to the City of Lake City and the Lake City Recharge Wetland Project, specifically Cody's team, by the Florida Water Environment Association for exemplary reuse projects. A little bit about this. It's for an execution of a $5.3 million springs protection grant to remove nutrients from effluent and to convert our spray fields to wetlands. A little bit about this is it reduced nitrogen from 8 milligrams per liter to less than 2 milligrams per liter. It reduced noxious nitrogen from 3 milligrams per liter to less than 0.1 milligram per liter. It removed 245,000 pounds of total nitrogen, removed 36,000 pounds of total phosphorus, and recharged roughly 4.9 billion gallons of reuse water. So congratulations to Cody and your team. If you'll join me up here for a photo. Everybody give them a round of applause. You guys haven't toured the wastewater plant? Encourage you to do so. Learn a lot about all the stuff that keeps us not smelling bad. All right. Now we will move on to public participation. We don't have anybody signed up for specific participation, but we do have you, Ms. Goggins, who signed up for 19. Do you want to go ahead and go now, or wait, or go now and later? Wait till the 19th. Okay. All right. So we have nobody else signed up for public participation. So I will go ahead and close public participation, and we will move on to the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, move to approve consent agenda.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second. Second came from Ms. Harris. Ms. Sykes, any comment from the council? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right. Now we will move on to presentations. Our first presentation tonight is Mr. Cavendish, discussion and possible action, Michael Cavendish, Cavendish Partners, the second legal opinion on a matter involving a final payment made to departing city manager Paul Dial.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Mayor, members of the council. Thank you for the opportunity to be back in front of you.
I just speak more directly into it, sorry.
I'll just lean down a little bit. When I was here last at the conclusion of the presentment of my firm's legal opinion on the Paul Dial post-employment payment matter, I was asked to prepare a supplement to that opinion to focus on the 2024 resolution that had to do with budget amendments in which payments to Mr. Dial were mentioned. We completed that as a supplement to the legal opinion and delivered it at the beginning of this month, and the conclusion is that there was no change to our legal opinion. The November 2024 resolution, in our estimation, would be viewed by a court as dealing with the entire Lake City annual budget and changes from the original, rather than a deliberation and a voted approval retroactively of the payments that were made to Mr. Dial. There are some legal reasons for that are well known to Florida local government law. Those are set forth in the opinion in the interest of time, and since we've already spent so much time talking about the legal ins and outs of that, I will not address those in particular unless someone has a question, which I'm happy to take at this time.
To summarize, you last presented that we were on good legal ground to pursue this issue if we so chose to, and then we sent you for a second opinion based on the action in November, and it changes nothing, correct?
That's right.
Does council have any questions for Mr. Cavendish?
I have no questions for Mr. Cavendish, Mr. Mayor.
Perfect.
I think this item theoretically could take a long time to talk about, but I think we've all talked about our opinions on it
Sure.
pretty long. So it is my opinion that we should pursue a judgment that we are owed that money. So however we need to go about making that motion, that's my intention. I don't want to stop or stymie the flow of conversation, but I move that we pursue a judgment.
And I second it.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. I will now thank you, Mr. Cavendish. I'm actually going to open the floor up now that we have a proposition because on our agenda we had potential action. So this is where I'll open it up for public comment, and I only have one person signed up for public comment, and that's you, Mr. Lofstrom. If you'd like to come to the podium and give us your comment on the proposed action.
So my comment, which I've made it before, is that it seems like the money was paid in error, so we should find a way to get it back. What I have to say is just a couple comments. Banks make mistakes infrequently, but they do. They'll deposit the wrong amount of money in someone's account, and you don't get to keep the money. They expect it back. It was simple error, be it by person or a computer. Either which way, it's not your money. You need to give it back. And there's no real arguing that. They get it back or pursue legal action. The IRS regularly sends me letters from years ago saying that one of my forms was filed incorrectly by a couple bucks and I need to pay them immediately. A couple months later, they send me a letter saying you overpaid several years ago and now we're giving you money back. You know, sometimes mistakes happen and money goes back and forth. But, you know, it goes back and forth. You can't just keep it. So, my only point is, it looks like this was made in error, so we just need to find a way to get it back. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lostrom. And now we don't have any other public comments, so I will now open it up for council comment, and I will actually ask procedure, because we just, and Mr. Cavendish, maybe you can answer this for me. We have a motion to move forward in a second, and we will be voting on that. This, and maybe Audrey, I need you to help me clarify this too. That's a very vague action.
Mr. Mayor, I can certainly clarify the motion. I was working on it. I didn't realize that we accidentally overstepped public comment. But my motion would be to pursue the funds that appear to be paid in error, having a legal judgment rendering, pursuing a legal judgment rendering that fact.
Okay, so authorizing the suit to achieve that. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Does he need to cite who the judgment would be for? Does that need to be in there?
Judgment against?
Yes,
I would think so.
yes.
Yes. The money paid inappropriately to Mr. Dial, former city manager.
Thank you for that clarification.
And I second it.
Still have the second. Okay. The public comment came whenever we defined whether or not we would go forward with it. All right. Very good. Now I will open it for council comments. Councilwoman Young, you have
Okay,
comments?
I don't really disagree with the pursuing legal action, but my concern is, how much is it gonna cost the city to pursue this? And if it's gonna cost way more than what's owed, then do we really wanna do this? I think we need to consider, how much is it gonna cost? If it's gonna cost us double than what's owed, then that's my concern, as it was initially.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Any other comments?
I thought of that too, and I asked him today when I met with him. But at the end of the day, we have to take accountability for what we do. I stand by what I said as far as us going after the money. The gentleman got up and said, if the bank make a mistake and put the money in mine, now, of course, I can kick my heels up, but at the end of the day, when they come back for that money, they want their money, because it wasn't mine. And no matter how much it costs the city, I think this would set a precedent for anybody else if they want to try it.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I don't know that I would necessarily say no matter how much it costs the city, if it costs $400,000, but I have a question for Mr. Cavendish. In your experience with this sort of a thing, do you have any idea in the vaguest terms what something like this may cost? And would it approach $400,000 or anything like that?
I don't think it would ever approach $400,000. Lawsuits are difficult to predict. Lawsuits are among the most difficult things to budget for, because so much depends on how the adversary behaves. The most expensive parts of lawsuits are discovery, where depositions are being taken, people are searching for records, people are reviewing the records that other people sent. The more efficient that the city is as a party to a lawsuit, the less it should cost. Because if you can be on top of your documents, if you can be on top of your witness testimony, approach those things in an organized fashion, it should cost less. The other good news is that lawsuits like this are pay-as-you-go. So at any point, if the city gets into a lawsuit and they grow weary of seeing the invoices, they can make a new decision and have another direction that they want to go in. And all lawsuits are like that, civil lawsuits that involved monthly or periodic invoices. You can take your foot off of the accelerator if you've had a change of heart.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But you
Councilwoman
still,
Young?
you still have that cost of the amount of time you had your foot on that accelerator until you get to the point where, okay, we stop here. But then you've surely lost the monies. So I just think and I don't know why at this point we should have been where we have an idea of about how much it would cost us. We've already paid out funds for this, and we still don't have a roundabout answer of how much is this gonna cost us to pursue this, about how much.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Mr. Jernigan, did you have?
Yes, I got a couple of things to say about that. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. This council, or the council before, had nothing to do with this this package that Mr. Dow received. It was only, I think it was the mayor, I think Ms. Sykes, and the city attorney. Those are the only three that I'm aware of that signed off on the paperwork for him to get that monies. That did not come before this council. Am I correct?
I believe it was just the attorney and mayor.
But I thought I seen like 3 names on there.
Mine was just an attested, mine was not an authority, mine was just an attesting a secret.
But again, I've seen 3 names on there. I don't care if it was a test set or whatever the case. Those are the names that I seen on there, right? So I'm just making it clear that it was not the council. It was just 3 names on there.
It was before the election, and it was a different council, I think is your point.
But even with that council, the last council, let's just say, I don't know who was sitting where, but the council did not do that. They did not come before the council, is my point. Am I correct?
Yes, one of the problems with the Dial post-employment payments was they never came to the council for approval.
That's exactly right. I just want to make sure I clarify that, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jernigan. Vice Mayor Young, you have something else?
Yes, and also, that's a great cost within itself. And if nothing else, this council and administration should have a great lesson from this, that we carry out things in a proper business-like manner. So it was a mishit, a bad swing, but that's one of the things that we get out of it is lesson taught.
Absolutely.
Cost us.
I agree. Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
No.
Mr. Jernigan?
No.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. I think that with that decision being made to pursue suit, I think that we can now, in moving in that direction, we can look to Mr. Rosenthal, our city manager, to engage legal representation in order to do so.
All right.
Does everybody agree with that? Are we all in with that decision moving forward?
I'll coordinate with the city attorney.
Thank you, Mr.
Mayor.
Cameron.
Thank you.
Thank you, council.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, you say coordinated through the city manager?
Yeah. So he can enter into, and this was a discussion that we had in our last meeting, where he can engage legal representation for the city.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
With the city attorney, right?
No, likely not the city attorney. Likely not the city attorney because there is a conflict there. Yes, Mr. Martin?
Yeah, but that's what he's,
Let me ask Mr. Martin this question. Is it right, Mr. Martin?
If I understood the action correctly that the council just took, it is to pursue a judgment against Mr. Dial directly. And I don't have a conflict of interest in
Okay.
pursuing an action against Mr. Dial directly.
Perfect.
And so I would be able to coordinate with the city manager on the best way to go about doing that and perhaps work with outside counsel and augment those efforts. I mean, we're looking at something that could be very involved litigation. So, you know, I think there does need to be some coordination on it one way or the other, but I could be involved.
Okay, good.
So that's what I was clarifying.
Right.
I didn't think that that most of us understood that, so I was just clarifying that.
All right.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Jernigan. All right, moving on to number 11. We have discussion and possible action, community outreach. Pastor Ingram from Mount Pisgah AME Church.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is John Ingraham. This is my wife, LaJoyce Ingraham. I serve as the pastor of
the Mount Pisgah AME Church located on Northeast Washington. I'm here to appeal to you to reconsider an ordinance that you have regarding water usage on vacant lots. I don't know if you all are aware, we have a community garden that sits on the southeast corner of Northeast Washington and Northeast Lakeshore Terrace. And that community garden is named after a living legend, Miss Corrine Lofton, who is a long living serving educator here in the city of Lake City. And that garden produces free vegetables and produce to at least 100 families in that neighboring community. Our problem is, which is why we're here, we're having a water sourcing issue. We're having to run our water source across the street from our main building across the street to where that garden is located. And right now we've invested in a portable water source that allows us to transport about 15 gallons of water across the street at a time. We're asking you all to allow us to tap into a water line that is directly across the street on a vacant lot which the church owns outright, allowing us to use that water source, or allowing us to put a meter on that water hydrant that's directly in front of our community garden. This garden is a food source for our neighborhood. We give the foods away absolutely free. We actually have a plethora of things in the ground right now. So we're asking you all to consider helping us out as we strive to help this community. I think this is something good, and the community is already benefiting from it.
I have a question. You're asking either, so the ask is either a new tap on the property or to
Allow us to use the water meter that's already on the lot directly across from the garden, because there is an empty lot that we use for parking, but there's not a structure on that lot because there used to be. There's a water line that's there, but we were told that we could not use that line because there's an ordinance that says that you have to have an actual structure on the property to get usage out of a water line. And if that's not feasible, then there is an actual water hydrant on the premises where the community garden is located. And we were told that there would be a $1,500 fee that we would have to pay in order to get a meter and a tap put on that so we can access water out of that. Looking for some help.
okay, how feasible is that, Mr. Rosenthal?
Well, we wouldn't want to put a water line on a lot that doesn't have a house on it. But I'm going to ask Steve to come up and to elaborate on our requirements for that.
Why wouldn't we want?
Well, there's some contamination hazard, but I'm going to let Steve elaborate on that for us.
So one of the very first things is what he just commented on. There's no backflow, so there's no way to prevent cross contamination, which is a huge issue, and we have to have a backflow on it. So there's a cost associated with that. Also, in our ordinance, there was an issue with them putting structures there that hadn't been permitted. So if they got water, they were moving on to parcels. So the city just done away with it totally. You have to have a structure in order to get a water meter.
What about the fire? Is the fire hydrant a feasibility?
The fire hydrant is doable. There's just the cost that's associated with the hydrant. We have to purchase the hydrant meters, and that actually goes on to our fire hydrant. And then once they're done with it, so it's seasonal, they would be able to turn it back in and receive their money back at that point.
Okay.
So, Mayor, if I may, the $1,500 that they would pay would be money that just secures the meter. Then once they return it, then they would get the $1,500 back. I don't know if they were aware of that.
Like a deposit.
No, sir, I was not, and I was actually asked to see if that $1,500, if it was optional to be waived, since you all are renting us the device, if that makes any sense. My second question was, and to your point, thank you, sir, we had someone to come out to the church today and actually tested the backflow. I was there when they were on the premises doing that work today, and I asked him, would we have a backflow issue to that vacant lot across the street? And he said no, because the where that meter is that I'm talking about is directly across from where he was testing the backflow today on the property. So to my knowledge, from one of the people that you all sent today, the backflow wouldn't be a problem if we were able to use that water line on our property.
What is the quickest way to get that? Would it be the fire hydrant, or would it be the line in the ground? speed to use, I guess.
So the easiest thing to do would be the fire hydrant. It's all above ground. You just hook it right up and it's ready to go. The only thing about the fire hydrants, and the reason why the $1,500 is on there is so if somebody was to steal the fire hydrant meter, that's the reason for the cost up front, is to ensure that the city doesn't have to have the cost of replacing that. As far as the water tap on the private lot, I'm not aware of that one. But now, if it's run off the current line that has a backflow, then the company that we pay to test our backflows is correct. Anything that goes through a backflow preventer that's suitable. But I don't know about the lot on the other side of the road. I would have to look at that.
Thank you. Now, I'll open it up for, we don't have any public comments, so I'll open it up for council comment questions. Ms. Young?
Okay, I will say, the issue with the meter on the fire hydrant. The fire hydrant, if we know that's a problem, that somebody could possibly steal it, it's gonna be stolen. And the reason I say that is right on the street. So, of course, if it's that easy to just walk by and remove it. So I don't think that's good, because the $1,500 is gonna be gone. But I do wanna bring to the attention of the council that the council voted for a community garden, remember? And there's no water in the areas that we proposed. Now, so we have to come up with some type of solution, because we have voted for a community garden. And this is a garden that has been going on for some time, and they've been pulling the water hose across the road, and we don't want the pastor to keep getting cussed out because of people running over the boards. We're gonna have to put our minds together and come up with something, and I believe this would be a great time to do it, since this community garden is already producing and feeding our community.
I have a question. You said across the street from there, you are on that property.
Yes, ma'am.
And there is a water line there.
Yes, ma'am.
Why not put your garden across the street and use the one that you have the garden on now for parking?
Structure. I don't think that's going to work, because that lot that we own where the water meter is, that's where the church was accustomed to parking, and the lot where the garden is, we've had to do a lot of work on the grounds. Like there was a house that formerly sat right there where the garden sits. So parking over there, even before we started the garden, wasn't feasible. We had to clear that land out in order to put the garden there and treat the soil.
My concern, just to share a concern, I don't know that it would be wise for us to change a whole code for the wide scale abuse that it could cause across the city, right? I would lean more toward, whether it gets stolen or not, the $1,500 hydrant, and I would even go further to say that I would help you secure corporate sponsorship to get that fire hydrant put in place, or that fire hydrant meter put in place, to make it work for you guys. Because again, I don't think it's wise to change the code for vacant lots across the way. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Young.
I have one more question, because I do see these vacant lots, and there's usually a food truck there and water supply. So what is tell me, explain to the people, how does the ordinance actually read? So it doesn't have to be,
I believe we actually have an ordinance against food trucks and vacant lots. So if they're acting inappropriately, if that's the case, unless they've improved it and they have a backflow meter on there, is how that ordinance reads for the food trucks.
And I have a question as well, along with what Councilwoman Young was asking you a few minutes ago. Were you all having the plan for the community garden? I believe it was at Richardson, or that was something like at Richardson Community Center or whatever. In addition, you all had approved for that. Gardens aren't on structured property. So what was your plan for watering whatever garden you all were starting? Because I was unaware of the city's garden before we even began ours. This is a project we started at a ministry we were at in Hot Springs and just moved it this way when we were reassigned. So what was your plan for starting a community garden with no water access, if the ordinance is not to have any water taps on vacant lots.
So I think that the actual plan is to have organizations come to us and propose where they could put their garden, initiate water source there, whether it be on vacant or non vacant land, and to identify their own water source.
I think we just did that.
Yeah, I think we did too. I'll go on record and say I think community gardens are fantastic. I love community gardens. I think they're a great thing, especially when you involve children or you involve anyone who's never grown their own food and created that efficacy in their own life. I think it's a fantastic thing. But I'm hogging the mic, so Mr. Jernigan.
Yeah, I just got a question for you, Pastor. That empty lot that you're talking about where y'all park now, how long have you been here?
Oh, it will be 2 years in November.
Oh, 2 years, okay. That house that used to sit on that empty lot, not where your garden is, but where you park.
Correct.
We used to live there. My mom had 7 children there. So just to let you know that. However, I'm just trying to, if, like you knew, I don't know if you were aware of this, if you knew that you needed water supply there, why didn't you come to us first before you started that gardening? That way we could iron out all the situations that was going on. I saw the guy out there planting the garden. I didn't know it was you.
It was me.
Yeah. So
This is my night clothes.
I just wish that we could have did that before we started that community garden. That way you wouldn't be behind the 8 ball right now. And what about these big old 5-gallon? No.
We got a 15-gallon one now. We have one.
And put the water out there. Then it won't cost you too much, and you still got everything you need without putting a $1,500 deposit down or running the water hose across the street and getting fussed out or whatever the case may be. And then in the future, you may want to grow another garden. Now you pretty much know the red tape you have to go through. So I'm all for community gardens, man. That's a fantastic thing that you guys are doing. Especially, you're growing any peanuts out there? Because the mayor, he loves peanuts.
I do love peanuts.
He loves peanuts, so that's important to him.
If I may, and thank you for your concerns and thank you for bringing me into a valuable piece of history. When I first got here, I'm a worker and I hit the ground working. And I have a background in public service through the city of Miami Gardens and the city of El Portal, and I served in the Florida House of Representatives, so I understand red tape real well, and I understand how long it takes to get one of you on the phone. And had I waited, I would have missed my planting season, 1. Number 2, we had a resident that was right next to the property that allowed us to use her water line when we actually found out about the red tape we would have to go through, because I've known about the $1,500 deposit for a year and a half, but at that point, there was no way for me to try to scramble to get that taken care of, because like I said, I'm a doer. And last but not least, this is a beautiful opportunity to reconsider the way you all have thought about this ordinance, because if you haven't paid attention, the price of food is going up. We need to be teaching our people, our families, our young people, and our senior citizens how to do and how to grow for themselves. And unfortunately, sometimes it's going to take us doing it on an empty lot. Unfortunately, just the way the city is laid out. And that may be something that we can consider moving forward, because I'm saying we because I'm a part of the city of Lake City now. So hopefully this is something we can work on together.
Thank you, Pastor Ingram. Vice Mayor Young.
Cost concerns and also health concerns. And I do appreciate what you're doing for the community. And when I inquired about the food trucks, and he said Richardson Community Center, if my memory serves me correctly, there's a building, like a storage. Is that where the water's coming from? Because nobody lives in that storage house. So where's that water coming from at Richardson Community
I don't
Center?
think that, yeah.
I could be wrong, but I thought that the location that we had approved to be used as the community garden was the one, the behind the.
Sorry, I know I didn't say we approved that there was a garden there and water was being used. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
I know it's a house there or a storage. is a building there, but I know nobody lives in that building. So I'm kind of moving it from food trucks to bring in hopefully a better image of what I'm saying. There's a building there, an old frame storage, I'm gonna say, but we know there's water there being used to water those gardens. Maybe not now because I think it's grown up.
Yeah, I
So
don't-
what's happening there?
I don't think there's an active one, but I definitely know that there's water on Richardson Community Center's property, and they're at that main campus that they could they were either running a hose to or running it off that building for sure. But thank you very much, Pastor Ingram. I think now we'll move strictly into council comments to see how we move forward, and see how you guys want to. See if you guys want to change the ordinance, or what do you want to do?
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't believe we should change the ordinance. It appears to exist for the reason of preventing contaminated water in a broad stroke. To me, the simplest solution sounds like there's a $1,500 refundable deposit. You know, it sounds like they'll use that for part of the year and not other part of the year. And it sounds to me like you have some ideas to help them pay for that. So I say we do that. You guys get together outside of the council and see how we can put that together. But it seems to me that that's the simplest solution that doesn't change the entire way we do things. Because generally speaking, we probably shouldn't, right, Mr. Brown?
It would definitely be staff's recommendation to go with the fire hydrant meter for a couple of reasons. Security is a concern of ours, but that thing mechanically bolts up, so they just can't swipe it when they take it off of there. But for another, it's seasonal, so this thing can be removed after the growing season, and that gives us a whole time to prepare for another growing season. But for today's issue, I would definitely recommend the hydrant meter, and that's something we can put on relatively quick without having to call in locates, dig up roads, change ordinances. There's a process behind that. The cross contamination that's a big deal.
I have one more question, Mr. Brown. Honestly, I just don't know. Is it like a catalytic converter? Is there something in these meters that make them popular for theft? Are they popular for theft?
No, sir, they're really not. We don't have a lot of them stolen. They're mostly in construction areas is where you typically see them at. This would be more in a residential component next to this church. There's a lot of houses
Serving
around
the
there.
community that it is
But
next to.
it's a small device. It's only about this long, but it allows us to measure the water. We have to go out and manually read it, but it's still, for today's, what we're trying to achieve today, that would be our quickest method.
Thank you. Any other? Yes, ma'am.
And so,
Steve.
Mr. Steve, so when you say measure the water, then there's a utility bill that comes along with this as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Water, okay.
Yeah, we have to charge for the water.
Yeah, I'm just.
And
putting
they
it out.
have the process that they have now, which I'm not 100% sure aware of, but listening to what they're saying, it's going through the church's meter, so the church is currently paying that bill on it. So that cost will be in addition to, because it will be remetered.
Yes, I just want it to be voiced that there's not free water.
Right.
Perfect. Thank you. Mr. Jernigan, do you have something?
Yes. Also, taking the city manager and Mr. Brown's suggestions or recommendations, I think that's what we should do instead of us making decisions up here. Mr. Brown is very familiar with that, and in my opinion, Mr. Rosenthal is very familiar with that. So their recommendations is what I would like to see transpire for this community garden. The recommendation that they have.
Thank you, Mr. Jernigan. I think we're at a consensus. We don't need to vote on anything up here. Please get with me, and I will definitely help you with that. All right. That concludes item number 11.
Thank you,
All right.
Mayor.
Yep. Now we'll move into our first open quasi-judicial hearing of the night, and I will turn it over to you, Mr. Martin. After this one, we will be taking a recess.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tonight, council, you have before you on this first item a continuation of the hearing of the first reading of Ordinance 2025-2311 for an application ANX 2504, which is an ordinance considering an application for voluntary annexation submitted by Real Terrace LLC, a Florida limited liability company. Before proceeding into the hearing, I would like to inquire of the members of the council if you've had any ex parte communications since the last hearing, starting with Councilwoman Young. Have you had any communications that occurred external to the council meeting and the hearing process?
I have not.
Okay, and Councilman Carter?
Yes.
You have. And what was the nature of this conversation?
2 or 3 conversations with various citizens and a brief conversation with Commissioner Hollingsworth. Just kind of really just about the information, discussing the land, where it is and what it is. I don't believe that it will have any effect on my ability to render an impartial opinion on the subject matter.
Perfect. You anticipated my next question. Councilman Jernigan, same question. No. And Councilwoman Harris
No.
and Mayor Walker.
Since the last meeting, no, but I disclosed that I did have those conversations prior to that meeting, and that it would not have a bearing on my ability to decide impartially.
Okay, thank you. So if recollection serves, at the last meeting, the decision to continue the meeting came after public comment and after the presentations and during council discussion. And so, Mr. Mayor, that's where you would pick up at this point, would be with council questions, and then allowing any closing arguments, and then moving to a vote. You could, if you wanted to have Mr. Thomas kind of do a real short summary to remind everybody what it was, you can do that, or you can go straight into where we left off.
Does anybody need Mr. Thomas to do that? Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Thomas or the parties?
I have a just question for
So
Mr. Rosenthal.
you want him to do it?
Yeah, it may
Okay.
be others who
Could-
need to.
Mr. Thomas, could you give us a refresher, please?
Certainly, Mr. Mayor.
And Mr. Mayor, I would need to administer an oath. Mr. Thomas, do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, thank you.
So again, this is the request for annexation, first hearing of parcel 02519 into the city. It's contiguous on one side with city boundary, and reasonably compact, meets all the applicable statutory criteria for annexation into the city. Again, just a reminder, this is the shape of the parcel. Down at the bottom, you've got Riel Terrace, and then you've got Bascom Norris. And you've got some stormwater basins along this edge here. This piece was severed off so that it would maintain contiguity with the county, so that it didn't create enclaves to the south. There's a couple of small parcels to the south. Again, here's the aerial view of it. Predominantly wetlands to the north and developable area more to the south. And then there's that open section which maintains contiguity with the county for the unincorporated parcels down here. And then really the only thing that the staff has added to the presentation is there was some discussion about another parcel that had come in when this was presented to the county and why there was objection to it. That was this parcel up here to the north. And so I just wanted to point out that there's a number of parcels in between these two parcels that would have to come in as well before that could be considered for annexation in the future. And staff's recommendation was to approve ordinance 2025-2311. Concludes presentation, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Thomas? Mr. Carter? No.
I have a question for Mr. Rosenthal.
You have a question for Mr. Rosenthal, please?
Just that, Mr. Rosenthal, you asked us to table it so that you could have some conversations with our counterparts at the county. Have you had those conversations?
Absolutely. Predominantly with just a few of the commissioners and with David, the county administrator. The county was concerned because of a certain project. That project is no longer feasible. The developer is no longer interested. And whatever they want to do on that land has to come back before our board and this council. And we've agreed with the county that we wouldn't allow that development, we wouldn't approve of the development on that land.
Thank you, Mr. Rosenthal. Yeah, Mr. Jernigan.
Yes, and I think you explained it, Mr. Rosenthal. I think you explained it very well to the viewers out there. As long as we got a good rapport with the county, and I don't want to damage that rapport. Also, if he pretty much guaranteed that that developer would not develop that project that was going to cause a lot of havoc out there. So I appreciate you for explaining that.
Thank you, Mr. Jernigan. Any other questions by comment or any other questions by council? Hearing none, Clay, I'll turn it back over to you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Is there any closing comments from you, Mr. Thomas? Any closing comments from the applicant?
Do you need to swear him in again?
Come back. I'm Tom Eagle. Do I need to swear or anything?
Okay, yeah, let me administer the oath. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
That's true.
All right, thank you.
All right. I want to hear, in case you all had any questions for me, additional questions, but I want to clear one thing up. At a meeting that was here, there was insinuations about me directly being involved in another project. I have no interest in another project. That project, I was never involved in that project. Those, to me, I was going to leave it alone, but I won't say it. They're borderline libelous. I've been president of 3 board of realtors. I've been in this business 53 years. You can check with the state. I don't have one blemish. So I do take offense. On this project here, y'all gonna be doing the zoning. I did this mainly. I thought we could work really well together. I still feel I can work with the county too. But I thought with the water and sewer and the infrastructure, y'all gonna do the zoning on it. I think a nice mixed-use combination with some real good, if we get lucky with a big box, I've given you some statistics on those that we can furnish. But it's up to you guys. This will probably be, at 80 years old, my last long-term project. But I just fell in love with the land. That's all. Anybody got any questions? I'll be glad to answer.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Eagle? I will say that none of those comments came from council. They came from public participation.
I know where it came from.
Yeah.
Thank you,
We
sir.
appreciate you, Mr. Eagle.
Any remaining comments from any of the other participants in the hearing last time? Okay, seeing none. The decision of the council should be based only on the evidence provided by sworn witnesses. In addition, the application may be adopted if the property proposed to be annexed is contiguous to the current municipal boundary, if the property proposed to be annexed is reasonably compact, and if the application for voluntary annexation bears the signatures of all owners of property in the area proposed to be annexed, otherwise complies with applicable state laws and does not confer special privileges on any right or rights on any person. At this time, the City Council may discuss the application and testimony, any findings of fact upon which the council wishes to base any decision, and adopt proposed ordinance number 2025-2311 following an appropriate motion, and second, to adopt said ordinance as read by title only on first reading.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Does anybody have any comments, or would they like to adopt City Council Ordinance number 2025-2311 on first reading?
Mr. Mayor, move to adopt City Council Ordinance 2025-2311.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any other comments, questions? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan? Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right. 5-minute recess.
Oh, sorry. I kept mine in check.
Let me get to.
Yep, you're right.
Ricky.
Is it on? There we go. You ready? We'll now call this meeting back to order. We're on number 13, which is under other items, and we are at the Lakeshore Hospital Authority update from City Manager Don Rosenthal and City Attorney Clay Martin. Who would like to start?
Mr. Rosenthal, may I?
I'm going to defer to the the city attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Rosenthal.
Thank you, Mr. Rosenthal. If you recall, several meetings ago, the council approved a proposed resolution to the conflict that placed certain conditions on the use of the facility and tied those facilities and the ability for Meridian Behavioral Health Care to utilize it to certain accommodations under the federal laws. And since that time, Meridian has had a chance to meet with its board. The hospital authority has had a chance to meet with its board. And the hospital authority actually has met twice, once before and once after Meridian's meeting. The Meridian board declined to accept the city's conditions as presented. However, in further negotiations with and conversations with the hospital authority board, did agree to have those conditions with a few changes added to the conditions that are in the Lakeshore Meridian contract, which, if ultimately carried through to a conclusion, would place the hospital authority in the role of enforcing those conditions and Meridian's compliance with them. All of this was formally communicated to me late last week by a letter from Todd Kennan, the hospital authority attorney, and both by telephone conversation and a follow-up letter. The hospital authority, before actually drafting what those conditions would look like as worded in their document, wanted to get a reaction from the city to the concept of doing it that way. Since last week, I've had a chance to talk with Mr. Rosenthal, and the working group on the city side that has been working on this since early this year. We're going to try to get together later this week and at least frame a response to the hospital authority from the working group. And when I say the working group, it has been me, Mr. Rosenthal, the mayor, the chief of police, and Sid Ansbacher, special counsel retained by the city on the matter. Of course, the devil will be in the details in terms of what we receive back from the hospital authority if we go back to them and say, this is worth you putting the time into drafting the actual language for us to consider or not. And so I guess at this stage, I don't think there's an ask of this body. This is more informational than anything else. The ask would come at a subsequent meeting where we would actually have hard language for you to look at and consider and vote on. But right now we have a concept that I would say does seem to be moving us closer to a resolution that would allow the contract between Lakeshore and Meridian to go forward. But again, the devil's in the details, and we don't have hard language yet. We just have a concept of what they're proposing and the nature of the changes that Meridian would want to see without actually hard language to look at. So that is the update, but I would say the process of working through this seems to be working in terms of having the two governing bodies talking to each other rather than litigating against each other.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. I will open this up for council comments in just a moment. We don't have any possible action tonight, so it's just for discussion. Mr. Carter, you had...
Yes, I had two questions. First question, it looks like there was, and was there some confusion? Yeah, first of all, I think that the list of safety concerns that we put forward before were very reasonable. Was there some confusion on the amount of sally ports being requested? Because I think I believe the intention of the council was one, but it sounds like perhaps the verbiage implied that it may be asking for them at every entrance or something like that.
There was some confusion. It was never the city's intent, notwithstanding the language that ultimately got transmitted to them. It was always the intent that there be at least one that law enforcement personnel could use as a secure sally port to move people from a transport into the facility.
Mm-hmm. And then my second question, and I don't even know if it's necessarily a question, but it appears to me, and everything seems to be moving in this direction, that if a deal is reached between the authority and Meridian, the authority would potentially cease to exist. And so it seems like Meridian doesn't necessarily want to be in contract with the city. They would prefer it to be with the authority. But of course, right after the deal is done, if the authority then is dissolved, would that relationship then pass to the county? Would the county be a part of this contract as who the contract was with if the authority goes away? Because otherwise, that sounds like a little bit of a what's the point there? Does that make sense? What I'm asking there? Would there be a backup after the authority if the authority were to dissolve?
So if the authority is dissolved according to general law, according to existing state statute, then the general governmental entity of the county within which the authority exists, which would be Columbia County and the Columbia County Board of County Commissioners, they would step into the shoes of the authority. However, I don't think that would prohibit the legislature from doing and taking some sort of action to reach a different conclusion. And I don't know what that could be. It could be rolling this hospital authority into another healthcare authority elsewhere. It could be, theoretically, they could roll it into the city if the city were so inclined. There are a lot of possibilities there when the legislature is acting in the dissolution process. If the authority just dissolves pursuant to existing state statute, then the county would step into their shoes. And then under that scenario, it would be the county that we would look to for enforcement. Under the other scenario, there are too many possible permutations for me to even begin to predict what that would look like.
Follow up. Do you believe it would be in the best interest of the city, our interest having been made clear already, to have that put into any contract that's drawn up between the two of them? Or is that even something that you can do?
I don't know that we could, by contract, do something that would ultimately tie the hands of the state legislature on any options it would have as to the outcome here. Just by statutory fiat, if it were dissolved and the statute applied, then the county would step into their shoes, and the county would have all rights that the and responsibilities and obligations that the authority would have.
So, and I know I said two questions. Last one. The way that this is currently going, do you see any chance of them reaching contract, then dissolving, and there is no government body that is representing the people that would have the ability to enforce the rules in that contract? Is that something that seems likely, a little remotely?
Or possible?
Very.
So the ultimate question is, would there be an entity that does not answer to the people that ultimately could be standing in the shoes of the authority in the future? Is that the ultimate question?
Yes, and then that by contract would not be required to enforce the contract.
I don't think so, but again, I don't know what the legislature would do. And so I don't want to preclude that, because things can get somewhat creative when the legislature becomes involved and wants to achieve a certain outcome. Their hands are not nearly as tied as if the authority decides to dissolve itself for some reason under state statute. Then we've got a very clear outcome.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for Mr. Martin? All right, thank you, Mr. Martin. That closes our item number 13 on Lakeshore Hospital Authority. So we will now move on to number 14, discussion and possible action, reconsider venue selection for the city to host the Northeast Florida League dinner meeting to be held Thursday, December 18th, 2025. Councilman Jernigan?
Thank you, Mayor. I reached out to Town Country and Suite, and I just wanted to know, from curiosity, by me just being there, looking into another situation. I just happened to talk to the GM there. Ma'am, you mind coming up to the front here? This is the GM at Town Country and Suite. And just reached out to her and said, did anybody call you to host an event there? And she says, no. I said, from my understanding, that we had people call to talk to you to see if we can host an event there. And she says, nobody called me. And so I inquired about the Town Country and Suite, the prices, what they may charge, to see if we, the citizens, can save a little bit of money. And she in turn gave me a quote, and I said, what? I said, this is what we're paying for the I went through pretty much how much money we had to pay for this one, and that one, primary, secondary, and tertiary. And she said that she could, when she gave me her prices, I was like, oh my, we could save a little bit of money. So I would like to the council to reconsider hosting an event out there, simply because we're going to save money, and they can hold up to 200 people, and it's a very, very nice venue. Most of the people who's coming in now, they hosting those different functions there. I think we just had one of the state representatives. They had a meeting out there. They had weddings out there, ribbon cuttings. They have some everything out there. So I just wanted the council to know exactly what she had to offer, and if she cannot beat the prices that we have came up with, we'll move forward. But according to what she told me, she can beat that. And I looked at the spreadsheet of how much money we can save. So I'll just let her explain to you what she's got to offer to us.
Thank you, Mr. Jernigan. You'll speak, and then I know that another council person has something, so please make sure that you pull the mic down.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. My name's Lynn Branscombe. I'm the GM for the Town Place Suites. I met many of you at our grand opening in March. Once I was made aware of the venue request, I sent over a proposal. Our normal full-day price is $11.75 for our venue. As many of you saw in March, you see that it's a really nice meeting space that can have, district meetings, banquets, weddings, baby showers, we can tailor it however you need be. We were happy to be able to offer a discounted rate of $575. As you know, the owner, Nick Patel, with Lake City Hotels, he loves to give back to the community whenever he can and to assist. And so we're happy to do that for you guys. I threw in a lot of complimentary items such as linen and setup and breakdown, and even offered a discounted rate to have outside catering come in. So I think all of it totals up to about $800 to be able to utilize our venue for your banquet.
Thank you, Ms. Branscombe. Ms. Young?
Exactly where are you located?
We're on Commerce, right in front of the hospital, behind Arby's.
Thank you. Mr. Jernigan, did you have another question?
So about $800, and as I'm looking at the different prices of venues, I see $24.95, $9.60. There's just so many different prices here. So that's the reason why I wanted you to basically come out and introduce yourself and tell the councils what exactly you have to offer for us. So anytime we could save money as a city council, it's not my money, it's the citizens' money that we're spending. So I try to make sure that we look out for our citizens and the amount of money that goes into those different projects.
Yes, sir.
So we
That
really-
that also includes the pre-function space, where if you were at the grand opening, you saw where we had the food and everything located. I did throw in tablecloths and chair covers for 100, I think is what it was. Anything we can do to assist, we're happy to do that. That's the reason why the building was built, for the
For
meeting
use, yeah.
space. So
Thank you, Ms. Branscombe. I know Councilman Carter, you also had an item whenever this came up.
Yes, and to be clear, Ms. Branscombe is a friend of mine, and I think they have a terrific facility out there. I didn't know that she'd be here to speak with us tonight, but when I saw that this was added back to the agenda, it occurred to me that, because I had spoken before in favor of doing it at the Blanche Hotel, being a very unique location, kind of highlighting our historic downtown, and us as a city put over $1 million into that building to see it restored, so it seemed like the appropriate place for this sort of occasion. But it occurred to me that the Blanche perhaps was not aware of the type of event this was, and the leaders from communities all around the area that would come. So I reached out to Ms. Decker at the Blanche, kind of explained what the event was, and asked if we could maybe get a better price on this, and she agreed to waive the entire $3,500 rental fee and the $150 rental fee for the boardroom, which would mean the only things that we would be paying would be, food and the various, the extra stuff, right? So it would bring the total of using the Blanche to around $800 as well. Like I said, I didn't know that Ms. Branscombe would be coming to see us, and again, I think that they have a terrific facility. I still think the Blanche is the right place, and I spoke to the folks at the Blanche, and they think it's the right place. So, so that being said, it was our most expensive bid. Now it's I think the lowest, or maybe tied with the lowest. And in that case, in this particular situation, I feel like the Blanche is the right place to highlight our city. We only do this every couple of years. So that being said, for what it's worth, Ms. Decker at the Blanche agreed to waive all rental fees to use that event. So
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Carter. Ms. Young?
If I may, first, I think it's very appropriate to ask Ms., because I think we're done with her questioning. We're sitting here discussing another.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I that's what I meant. Thank you, Ms. Branscombe.
so much.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in the Blanche. And by it being this special occasion, no. We should have been able to use that Blanche way before now, and I'm not inclined to do it now. Maybe it's because of the comment I made, I'm not sure, but I'm not interested in using it for free for this event. Because any event we should be able to use that Blanche. That's my thing, and I stand on it.
Thank you. I just want to clarify something. For the revised venue rental costs, the Blanche Hotel would be $795 total after the $500 venue sponsor funds. Florida Gateway Fairgrounds would be $2,495. Holiday Inn, this for the Crown Holiday Inn, would be $960. Town Place Suites by Marriott is listed as $1,085. So that's the total. So we have an item to revisit. We don't have any public discussion on this item, so we'll move straight into final council comments, questions, or motions. Yes, sir.
For what it's,
Go ahead.
I would just say for what it's worth, I don't know if in the past we've asked the Blanche for any sort of deal or sort of thing like that. So that's why it occurred to me when I saw the item back on the agenda, have we even given them the opportunity to, employees change. The folks that sent us that stuff might not have even been there whenever the deals were reached with the city. It's been years now. So like I said, when I asked Neil about it, she just said, "Oh yeah, we'll just waive it for you guys. No big deal." So I mean, I think that they're. I can't speak for them or future events, but I feel like they're very willing to work with us on stuff. So I think. Again, I think it would be an excellent place to do it. It's gorgeous, and our tax money helped make it gorgeous. So
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Mr. Jernigan.
Well, and I have nothing against the Blanche Hotel, and appreciate Ms. Decker waiving the things that she's waiving. However, I just think that it should have been done on the forefront. Now, after going out trying to get the prices a little bit different, and now you come back and say, "Oh, we'll waive the fee for you guys," and it's not really waiving the fee. I mean, we pay money there every month, from my understanding, to continue to with the contract that we have there. So it may look on the front end like they're waiving. That's all they're doing. They're just waving, "Hey, how you doing?" But we're still paying monies there monthly. And again, I think it's a very, very nice rental property. And if they want us to, going forward, if they're going to do what they say that they're willing to do for us, that's something that we can definitely consider. But as of right now, I just believe that Town Place, first bid, this is what they want to do. We'll do this for you guys. And it's a brand new operation out there, and it's very, very nice. I don't know if you've been there or not. I think the mayor for sure has been there. It's very nice, and maybe somebody want to stay the night there. I don't know, but I think that we should definitely reconsider what we have now and consider Town Place and Suite.
Just to be clear, Ms. Sykes, what venue did we choose last time?
Fairgrounds.
Fairgrounds, correct?
The Fairgrounds was your primary, and then I believe it was the Holiday Inn was your secondary.
Thank you. My only thought before, and I'll let actually you go first.
I'm going to say this. I don't know if Town and Country was ever considered when we were going through. Where was it?
They were emailed, and I could produce the email that they were initially sent. They did not respond initially when Michelle sent the email.
Did not respond.
No, ma'am.
Okay, my other thing of it is, I'm just curious, how much are we paying the Blanche per month?
Mr. Mayor, if I may address that question,
Yeah.
it varies. But again, I think it's important that we understand that regardless of if anybody doesn't like particular details of it, the city entered into an agreement with them, signed agreement years ago.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that's relevant necessarily to this discussion.
Very relevant.
The agreement did not say anything about free use of rental space or any of that kind of stuff. This is, I was told by Ms. Decker, their busiest month of the year. So she said most of that month is already booked up. They're holding the date until after tonight's meeting, but at the moment they are holding that date for us to see whether or not we choose to use them. But the date is available,
Finish.
Well, thank you. Can I finish? All right, so how much are we paying the Blanche per month?
Council member, that varies based on how much commercial.
Lowest to the highest.
I can get that from finance. I don't have that with me right now.
It's based on occupancy, if I understand correctly.
Yes,
And
for
they
commercial.
only have one spot vacant right now, so it's probably the lowest that we could pay without it being 100% occupied.
So the initial thing, when they asked the Blanche in the beginning, the quote was how much? 2,500?
49.
Four-
I think it was like 4,000 something.
the rental cost was $3,500.
That is what they originally said, right?
Yeah, someone emailed them, asked for a
That-
price, and that's
And
their.
that included what? Just the building, no linen, no,
Yeah, I believe that's their open. I
Well, the
think that's their
tables
open
and
rate.
chairs are included in that original price as well.
okay.
Ms. Young?
And this is not the first time we've requested to use it. It's not the first time, and this shouldn't be a special time. I think it's just a total disrespect, if you ask me. And I don't have to go back to the initial, it is what it is today. And I just hope we don't even consider using the Blanche this time, nor any time in the future.
Thank you, Ms. Young. I don't mirror those thoughts. I think it's probably one of the most beautiful properties we have in the city, and at that time of year,
As much as
at
the
that
city
hold on,
put in on
hold,
it,
yeah,
I'm
well,
sure.
at that so we put in what we put in, and I believe the developers have put in over $17-18 million into that property as well. And during that time of year, we'll have paid and used Steve's folks to decorate this whole downtown and the area around it with Christmas lights. So on December 18th, that would be the time to show other officials from around our area what Lake City looks and feels like, in my opinion. But we do have, this is an item to revisit. We don't have to change our original decision. But if someone would like to make a motion or further discuss, please do.
I'll make a motion that we use Town Place Suites
I second
as
it.
our venue
We have a
place.
motion and a second.
Mr. Mayor.
Oh,
Sorry.
hold on.
Clay, you want to address
Yeah.
that? We need a motion to reconsider.
So procedurally, because you've already addressed this as a matter before the board, you would request for a motion to reconsider that earlier motion.
To pull back our original decision. And
Well,
then we would need a motion to move into where we wanted to go.
So you would reopen the floor for debate on the original motion.
Okay.
And then you would, which was to have it at the fairgrounds first and then the Holiday Inn as a second option, vote that down and then proceed with the motion similar to the one you just entertained.
Okay.
Does the person who made the motion have to be the one who withdraw the motion?
I don't know. It's just anybody who voted affirmatively, correct? And we
Anyone
all
on the
voted.
prevailing side,
We
yes.
all were on the prevailing side. We voted unanimously.
Okay, I make a motion that the floor is open for reconsideration of our venue for, do I have to state
Our motion from, what was the date that was that April? Was that the first or the second meeting in April?
21st.
It was the 21st. Your motion to reconsider our decision from April 21st.
from April 21st?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? All right. Oh, not, hold on. We don't have any public comment on this, so I will, yes, sir.
You're doing fine, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, we don't have any public discussion, signed up public discussion, unless that's what that is. It is? Okay. So I'm going to open public discussion on this reconsideration currently. Ms. Coggins, if you'd like to, please, could you fill out one of those forms for me? But Mr. Lofstrom just put one in. Mr. Lofstrom, if you'd like to speak on this. And then we'll come back to the board for our discussion.
So I believe this is some kind of conference or something where, for the League of Cities or a bunch of different people from other places. Anyway, if it's just a regular event that doesn't matter where it is, it's just a conglomeration of people, then we can do it anywhere that's cheaper. If, however, we are trying to showcase Lake City, then I would agree that the Blanche in December would look as hallmarky as possible. Otherwise, we could do it anywhere. I mean, any, big empty red iron metal building would be fine. But if we're trying to showcase Lake City and make it look as pretty as possible, in December, I think the Blanche is perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lofstrom. Ms. Coggins, did you want to speak to it?
Well, it's obvious a lot of us are not privy to what is what happened, because you're very adamant about not wanting to go there or have the meeting there. And I'm sure the rest of us want to know something happened, and we would like to know. I would like to know as a citizen. I just want to know what happened.
Thank you, Ms. Coggins. Well, you can address that in council
Okay,
comments.
and
Just a moment. We've got, so now I'm going to close public comment. Nobody else wants to speak. So now we'll open it up to council comments, Vice Mayor
Okay,
Young.
and if I may say, I don't have problems with the Blanche. Matter of fact, I've asked for events to happen at the Blanche. I feel the way I feel about the cost, the initial cost that they brought to us. If you go back to the last meeting, that bothered me, that amount of money would be asking of us to use that place. Now, and it does go back to what the city has put into the Blanche. But as far as the Blanche being a bad place, the people being a bad place, that I don't have that feeling. It just bothers me that they would state that amount of money for the city to use the Blanche. That's where I am with it. It has nothing to do with history and all of that for me. We should not have to pay that much, and I don't think we should accept it because it's this one-time showcase event. If it's not for us for all events, then I pass.
Thank you, Councilwoman Young. Mr. Carter?
I'll just say this. I think we sent out emails asking for prices from everybody, and everybody gave us their prices. That's what the Blanche charges. I don't think anybody asked them if we could have a better deal. I don't think it seems like the town place was asked, or at least at the very least they already knew they were privy to the prices that were quoted by everyone else. And of course, they're a new place. It makes perfect sense to put in a good price and so forth. And again, I don't have anything against Town Place. They're a terrific place, and Mr. Patel is a terrific community partner. So nothing about that. But I think, like I said, there's a lady, I believe her name is Heather, and when someone reaches out to them about booking the space and says, "Hey, what are the prices for booking the space?" she sends back the prices. I think that's just what happened. Well, I know the boss lady over there, and I called her and I said, "Hey, we're going to have this event, and this is the nature of the event. Seems like it would be a great place, great way to showcase this, that, and the other. Your place, us, downtown, so on and so forth. But it's the highest bid of all the bids we got." And she immediately said, "Oh, well, we'd be happy to waive that. It sounds like it'd be a great event. Love to have you," and this, that, and the other. We're always excited to work with the city on things. And that was the extent of the conversation. So she then emailed the city. She emailed Miss Audrey saying that they waive those fees and this, that, and the other, and they'd be delighted to have us. Again, it has been mentioned here before, we're going to be spending a lot of money putting the lights up, making downtown look beautiful. The Blanche generally does look beautiful. Much taxpayer money went into making it look beautiful. To me, we're going to have local leaders from all over Northeast Florida come into our area. It's a thumbprint. Nothing else is like it. It's wholly unique. There aren't places like that in every town. There's a place here like that in our town. Also, I feel like, maybe I'm misunderstanding, but there's moments where it feels like there's a level of hostility. And I know that the agreement with the city and the Blanche in the past has been contentious, absolutely. But at some point, I think we just kind of have to move forward and assume that everyone's operating under, positive pretenses. And in this case, for that reason, I believe that's where we should use it. And I think that I believe it's the lowest bid. And yeah, I don't think I can make it make any more sense than that.
We are, so this is currently, we're voting on a motion to reconsider the original, which was to approve the fairgrounds with the second, the backup being Holiday Inn. Mr. Jernigan, you have something?
No, I'm just waiting to wait
For me to make the motion.
We have the motion. We have the motion and we have the second.
Yeah.
So Councilman Carter seconded it for discussion. We've had public comment. We've had discussion at the board level. So this will be a vote to reconsider our previous decision from April 21st so that we open it back up to then make a motion for a venue. So Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Young?
Yes.
is the motion for them to host it again at that same location?
No, it's to reconsider.
Reconsider it?
This motion is to open the floor back up into the discussion phase, to have it at the fairgrounds or Holiday Inn.
Okay,
No, this motion is to reconsider
the original
the
motion.
original
And
motion.
the original motion was to have it at the fairgrounds, and you are now voting yes.
So if,
Reconsider.
Yes.
well, you want to open the floor back up to discussion on that original motion. So if you want to reconsider, you'd actually vote yes on this, and then that would put the original motion to have it at the fairgrounds and Holiday Inn back before you. If you don't want to do that, then you would vote that down and vote no. And then someone would offer a new motion to have it at some other location.
So let's be
Okay.
clear. There's going to be three different motion sets. This one to reconsider. So voting yes would open it back up to vote yes or no on the original. Then once we do that, then
Okay.
we have a third one. It was good clarification.
I thought they were combined. I thought the first two were combined. Motion to reconsider the original motion. I thought that was a combo motion. So with her voting yes, I thought she was supporting it again. So that,
Yes, my
I
vote
just
is
wanted-
yes.
Okay. Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Okay. Mr. Jernigan?
Yay.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
No. And now, and the reason I'll say the reason I voted no there was I felt that we had information from everybody. We didn't go to anybody for a sweetheart deal. We made the decision based on that. So now that we've brought it up to reconsider, we have the original motion in front of us. If someone would like to remake that motion.
You don't even need to do that, Mr.
Okay.
Mayor. It's just there so you can discuss and then vote on having it at the fairgrounds and the Holiday Inn.
All right. Discussion.
I feel like we've done that.
Okay. So if someone would like to make a motion, that's what.
No, we
No?
just
That
Okay.
call
goes-
for
So
a
we're-
vote.
For a vote on that motion to have it at the fairgrounds and the Holiday Inn.
Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Young?
No.
Mr. Jernigan?
No.
Mr. Carter?
Nay.
Ms. Harris?
No.
And Mayor Walker?
Yes.
And then, Mr. Mayor, you could
I
now
make the
entertain
motion.
a motion.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll
made
entertain
the-
the new motion.
Ready?
Yep, I'm ready. Sorry, it's as confusing to me as it is everybody else.
I make the motion of that the League of Cities conference be held at Town Place Suites.
Town and country.
Town Place Suites, is that right?
The hotel out
Better
by.
mess me up.
All right, we have a motion.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion?
If I could, Mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. In that motion that we made, can we also do a primary and a secondary place to host the event, or do we just go right to?
We have a motion and a second already on just one event or one location.
Okay.
We can then move to another motion if you guys would so be inclined to choose a secondary. But we have the motion and the second. So let's just.
Okay.
Do we have any other discussion?
One place,
One place.
and let's get out of here.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Young.
Thank
Ms. Sykes, please call the roll.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Mr. Carter?
Nay.
And Mayor Walker?
No. All right. Okay. Very good. Now we're moving on to number 15, back to the quasi-judicial with you, Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Give me just a second to shift gears down here. Since we are opening a new quasi-judicial hearing, we have two matters that are going to be considered on first reading in this hearing. The first is first reading of ordinance number 2025-2313, an ordinance amending the future land use plan map pursuant to application CPA 2502 by Jacob T. Creamer of Stearns Weaver Miller as agent for Seacoast National Bank, formerly known as Drummond National Bank, the property owner, and then the companion rezoning. Ordinance number 2025-2314, amending the official zoning atlas pursuant to application Z2502 submitted by Jacob Creamer of Stearns Weaver Miller as agent for Seacoast National Bank, formerly known as Drummond National Bank, the property owner. The purpose of the procedure today is to make sure the applicant and the city each have an opportunity to present information about the matter to be considered before the council. We will hear first from the city staff regarding the application, then the applicant will present their case, followed by any party interveners, and then participants in opposition to or support of the application will follow in public comment, followed by representatives of groups of 6 or more. Then we'll proceed to cross-examination. And then following that, the council through the mayor may ask any questions of any of the presenters. After that, we'll proceed to closing arguments and presentations. Then I'll advise the council as to applicable law and factual findings that must be made. Once so advised, the council can deliberate and vote to either approve and in certain conditions, approve with conditions or deny the applications and the ordinances. All persons have the right to speak through the mayor, ask questions of staff or other presenters. While the council welcomes comments from all persons with an interest in the proceeding, part of law requires the council decision and quasi-judicial actions to be supported by competent, substantial evidence presented to the council during the hearing on the application. Competent and substantial evidence is evidence a reasonable mind would accept as adequate to support a conclusion. There must be a factual basis on the record to support opinion testimony from both expert and non-expert witnesses. People presenting testimony may support their testimony by relying on factual information provided by staff, the applicant, or other information in the city staff report. As I did earlier on the earlier annexation ordinance, on these 2 ordinance, I need to inquire of each council member if they've received any ex parte communications on these matters, and if so, to please disclose them. Councilwoman Harris? Councilwoman Harris?
Yes.
Have you received any ex parte communications?
No.
Okay. Councilman Jernigan?
No.
Councilman Carter?
No.
And Councilwoman Young?
No, sir.
And Mayor Walker?
I have not, no.
Okay, thank you. At this time, for all of the individuals who are going to speak to these applications, if you could stand and raise your right hand to take an oath. Do each of you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth? All right, thank you. The first ordinance is, let me skip ahead here. Ordinance 2025-2313, an ordinance of the City of Lake City, Florida, amending the future land use plan map of the City of Lake City Comprehensive Plan as amended, relating to an amendment concerning 50 or less acres of land pursuant to an application CPA 2502 by Jacob Creamer of Stearns Miller Weaver, or Stearns Weaver Miller, as agent for Seacoast National Bank, formerly known as Drummond National Bank, the property owner of said acreage under the amendment procedures established in sections 163.3161 through 163.3248 Florida statutes as amended, providing for changing the future land use classification from county highway interchange to city commercial of certain lands within the corporate limits of the City of Lake City, Florida, making certain findings of fact in support thereof, providing severability, repealing all ordinances in conflict, and providing an effective date. At this time, Mr. Thomas, could you please introduce, summarize, and present the ordinance to the council?
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. So ordinance 2025-2313 is on a parcel that was recently annexed into the city, and now the land use and zoning needs to be changed from county designations to city designations. It's a request to change land use on this particular parcel from a designation of county highway interchange to city commercial. Parcel surrounded on all sides with a property land use designation of county highway interchange and city commercial on all around. This is the parcel in question. You've seen it before during the annexation hearing. Most recently, the Planning and Zoning Board recommended approval to the City Council for the appropriate land use and zoning changes. Therefore, staff finds petition in compliance with the city's comprehensive plan and land development regulations. As stated, Planning and Zoning Board recommended approval on the 13th, and therefore staff recommends approval by City Council of Ordinance 2025-2313 on first reading. That concludes staff's presentation. Would like to be read into the record, please.
All right. Thank you. And now from the applicant.
Good evening. My name is Simone Savino. It's nice to see you all again. I'm here on behalf of Stearns Weaver Miller, and we represent the applicant. Our address is 401 East Jackson Street, Tampa, Florida. I've been sworn. We do have a presentation, hopefully somewhere in the queue. No presentation? I'll give it a minute. It looks like we have hard copies. I'll just pause in case he's able to access it. Doesn't look like there is.
Doesn't look like we have it via tech. Do you have hard copies?
We do, and we'll circulate. Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We've been before you when we were with our annexation application, but to reintroduce, we have all members from our applicant team present. On behalf of Racetrack, we have Michael Mullen, the lead engineering project manager, and Amira Muhammad, our engineering analyst. On behalf of legal and land planning, we have myself and Cynthia Spadell, our associate director of planning at Stearns Weaver Miller. We have our civil engineer, Beth Leaptrot, present on behalf of CW Prime Engineering, and we have Chris Walsh, our chief engineer for transportation engineering. This request pertains to property located at 3882 West US Highway 90. Before you tonight, we've got items 15 and 16 for two applications, our comprehensive plan amendment small scale and our rezoning application. And then, as you might recall, we were previously before you a couple of weeks ago for the annexation of 2.01 acres, which is half of the project site. I'm going to let Mr. Michael Mullen come up and give you a refresh on some of the products and services that Racetrack offers.
Good evening. I am Michael Mullen with Racetrack, 200 Galleria Parkway, Atlanta, Georgia 30339, and I've been sworn in. So I just wanted to thank you again for the opportunity to present today, and I'd just like to walk through some of Racetrack's newest store models and how we aim to contribute to the communities we serve. So that slide you see where it says Racetrack's EFC model, this is our latest model, which we rolled out in 2023. It represents our most modern design in our fleet and has a clean brick exterior with flat roof lines, and it provides a modern look for the area. And then to the next one is showing the interior of our stores. It just gives you a glimpse of our open layout design and to enhance the guest experience. And then also, let's go to the next slide, where we show our modern amenities that we have. Premium coffee offerings, fresh food selections. Also, we provide low-profile shelving to ensure that our team can visibly see everyone for safety. We also provide free Wi-Fi and comfortable outdoor seating. And then lastly, the last couple slides are just showing our emphasis and our commitment to being a true partner in the communities that we are in. Each Racetrack location typically employs 25 to 30 team members, and beyond the job creation, we actively engage in local fundraising efforts, partnering with both national organizations as well as grassroots communities, and we like to give back and make a positive impact to the community. And thank you so much for your time.
Okay, I'm picking up on slide 12. It doesn't seem to have a number on it, but just hopefully you can see where there's a picture of the bank. So yes, this is the redevelopment of a former bank site. The use we're seeking is actually currently allowed at the county level. The whole reason we annex into the city is for consistency between all applications. And the total site area, once completed, will be 3.65 acres. I'm now turning to slide 13, that is labeled, and it says comprehensive plan amendment. And I'm gonna let Cynthia Spidell walk through how we meet those provisions.
Good evening. My name is Cynthia Spidell. I'm a planner with Stearns Weaver Miller at 401 East Jackson Street in Tampa, Florida, and I have been sworn. I'm an AICP certified planner, and I have 20 years of experience in both the public and private sectors. And if you have any questions, you can ask my former boss, Mr. Rosendahl. No, I'm happy to answer questions too, so you don't have to ask him. So at any rate, I'm starting on page 14. The site is completely surrounded by commercial. It's within a half a mile of the interstate. And if you go to slide 15, this just shows you the map of how it's going to be incorporated into the city, and that we require a city future land use category upon annexation. And your comprehensive plan does require that, and that's on slide 16. Those are the comprehensive plan policies that require the designation of a city future land use category and rezoning upon annexation, but you are allowed to rely on the county designations in the interim. And it just so happens that this is only a 2 acre of a 3.6 acre site. So that means it's a small scale, which means we do not have to transmit we don't have to transmit to the state. There's no state objection reports and comments report. There's no review. You get to just go straight to adoption. And that's a process that's outlined in the statutes, section 163.3187. So if you move to slide 18, this just basically shows you that we're not asking for anything new. There are no new uses proposed for that location. This is really a cleanup item. It's annexing a portion of a larger site into the city and giving it the right designations. And with that, that concludes my presentation for the comp plan. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Are you moving your presentation into the record?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Is now an appropriate time for a question?
Yeah, sure.
Let's go through public comment first, according
Okay.
to the procedure, and then. Is there anyone in the public that wishes to comment? Any party interveners? Moving forward now, Mr. Mayor.
The county versus city designations, county highway interchange, which you're moving from.
We're going to commercial.
Yeah, sorry. You're going to city commercial. These items which are outlined in the county highway interchange are not included in the city They include tourist-oriented facilities such as restaurants, motels, campgrounds, retail outlets, truck stops, light manufacturing facilities for storage and distribution. I'm particularly concerned about truck stops here. It does not include truck stops, correct? For
Well,
CityCom.
I believe it does, but we're not asking for that. We're asking for city commercial, and that basically, that is land use classified as commercial uses consists of areas used for the sale and distribution of products or performance of services. So, but we are not proposing a truck stop travel center. There will be diesel fuel pumps, but that's oriented towards people who drive trucks, not semis that come in. I've also represented a couple of travel centers elsewhere in the state, and it's a whole different design. You have to have turning radius, you have to have trailer parking, you have like areas where they can rest and sleep and showers. This is not that. This is a typical racetrack convenience store with fuel pumps. There will also be diesel as part of that. But
Here's a question for you, Mr. Martin. Before ground is broken and everything moves forward, right? Will we get a comprehensive site plan of that?
You will.
Okay, perfect.
But that only goes to planning and zoning, so it's not going to come to city council. But I think if there's an issue at planning and zoning, it could come before you. But your administrative code allows you to take the site plan to planning and zoning.
I just wanted that clarification for the public because you guys have said
Yes.
this won't be a truck stop.
Correct.
So I just It's good to keep saying it.
Correct. Yes. Yogurt, salads,
Yes,
those are the
thank
kinds
you.
of things you can get there, gas, lunch. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all the questions I had. Did anybody else have any questions? Great. All right. Mr. Martin?
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Is there any closing arguments, any further comments from the applicant, from the city? Okay. Seeing none, Mr. Mayor, at this time, the council may deliberate on the ordinance before you, and you may approve it if it preserves the internal consistency of the city's comprehensive plan, complies with applicable state laws, and does not confer special privileges or rights on any person. At this time, the council may discuss the application and testimony and any findings of fact upon which you wish to base a decision and adopt proposed ordinance 2025-2313 as read by title only on first reading.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Council, do we have any discussion, comments, questions, or wishes to adopt City Council Ordinance number 2025-2313 on first reading?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve City Council Ordinance number 2025-2313 on first reading.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Thank you. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, please call the roll.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. Thank you. Mr. Martin, number 17. Or-
Mr. Mayor,
yeah,
you
sorry,
have before
6.
you proposed ordinance 2025-2314 on first reading, which states an ordinance of the City of Lake City, Florida, amending the official zoning atlas of the City of Lake City land development regulations as amended relating to the rezoning of less than 10 contiguous acres of land pursuant to an application Z2502 by Jacob Creamer of Stearns Weaver Miller as agent for Seacoast National Bank, formerly known as Drummond National Bank, the property owner of said acreage, providing for rezoning from county commercial highway interchange to city commercial highway interchange of certain lands within the corporate limits of the City of Lake City, Florida, providing severability, repealing all ordinances in conflict, and providing an effective date. And at this time, Mr. Thomas, if you could present the application, please.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. This is the companion ordinance to the land use change that you just approved on first reading. Ordinance 2025-2314 will change the zoning from the county designation to city designation. Zoning request is from county commercial highway interchange to city commercial highway interchange. As you might imagine, they have very similar allowable uses. Parcel surrounded again on all sides by a zoning designation of county commercial highway interchange. And so staff does find the petition to be in compliance with the city's comprehensive plan and land development regulations. And again, it was the Planning and Zoning Board voted to recommend approval to the City Council of Ordinance 2025-2314. And therefore, staff recommends approval by the City Council on first reading. That concludes the presentation. Please like to read that into the record, Mr. Attorney.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. The applicant?
Thank you. Cynthia Spidel again for the record. So I just wanted to bring to your attention slides 21 and 22 that just show the change from county to city. And once again, the theme is the same. There's nothing really new being asked for. It's just going from county to city. And there is, in the backup, there are some pictures of the site plan if that's something that you would like to take a look at. On page 30, there's a site plan, and on page 28. And so you can see that it is definitely a standard convenience center with fuel pumps and not a travel center truck stop. And with that, thank you very much for your support, and thank you to staff, and we're happy to answer any other questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to comment on this? Seeing none, Mr. Mayor, it'd be appropriate now for the council to ask any questions.
Does the council have any questions? Vice Mayor Young?
Has there been a racetrack here before in Lake City?
Fair question. I don't believe so, but
Oh, because
No.
I'm just excited because I'm having a Councilman Jernigan moment. I remember racetrack. I was growing up. It's been a long time ago. But there was a racetrack in McLennan. You remember? You old enough to remember, Caradine? A racetrack in McLennan. Now this is much more. We just had gas and snacks. But I just want y'all to know I did grow up with a racetrack on the corner of, it's kind of in between Interstate 10 and Highway 90, right in that little cut, you know? Anyway, so I'm just excited. I thank you all for even considering coming to Lake City. And it's beautiful, and I know the business is gonna be just as you present the images here of the building. And I'll go ahead and say welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor Young. Any other comments, questions? Nope.
Mr. Mayor, move to approve City Council Ordinance number 2025-2314.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Thank you guys very much. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right. Now I'm closing the quasi-judicial hearing. We're moving on to item number 17, City Council Ordinance 2025 -2317. Mr. Martin, will you please read that by title?
Just a moment, Mr. Mayor, let me.
I'll give you a moment to catch up.
Mr. Mayor, council members, you have before you ordinance number 2025-2317, an ordinance of the City of Lake City, Florida, providing for the permanent closure, vacation, and abandonment of certain portions of Northeast Bailey Street, Northeast LaRose Street, and Northeast Alfonso Levy Terrace, abutting real property owned by the Columbia County School District pursuant to Section 86102 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Lake City in response to an intergovernmental request from the school district, making findings of fact in support thereof, authorizing the city to convey by quitclaim deed to the district all of the closed, vacated, and abandoned portions of Northeast Bailey Street, Northeast LaRose Street, and Northeast Alfonso Levy Terrace, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. We don't have any public comment signed up for on this item, so I will go ahead and close public comment for this and move straight into council comments and questions. Do we have any? Would anybody like to make a motion?
Mr. Mayor, move to approve City Council Ordinance 2025-2317.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Thank you very much. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right. Now we're moving into resolutions, and we'll start with number 18, City Council Resolution number 2025-070. This is a resolution of the City of Lake City approving the agreement with Tyler Technologies for various department uses. We don't need to read this by title because it's a resolution, so we'll move straight into council comments because we don't have anybody signed up for public comment. So council comments, questions, wishes on this? I'll entertain a motion if you prefer.
Mr. Mayor, move to approve City Council Ordinance 2025-070.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right. Number 19, City Council Resolution number 2025-079. This is a resolution for the repaving of Camp Street. And we do have public comment on this. Ms. Betty Goggins.
All right, thank you, Mayor, and to each of you. Again, the Camp Street. It's a bit of a deja vu because about a year and a half I sat and there was an agenda worded pretty much like what's number 19, like how that's worded. And on that particular agenda, it had 4 streets and they were under needs assessment. The first street was James Montgomery, and James Montgomery Street had an amount of money that they were going to spend and an effective date. Then there was the second street as needs assessment, and that was Grandview. Grandview was awarded, it was worded pretty much like this, but there was a dollar amount of $330,000 and some cents. on that particular agenda and an effective date. Then there was Patterson Street. That's the third one. Patterson Street did not have an exact amount, but I believe the Department of Transportation took care of that and knocked that out. The fourth street, believe it or not, was Camp Street, and that's been a while back. Camp Street was in that same box. Camp Street was listed, but it did not have the dollar amount or effective date. And that's why I'm standing tonight. I don't want to miss this opportunity to see what the dollar amount, because that plays into it. I believe if Camp Street would have been like the others with a dollar amount attached to it, it would have been fixed by now. But because it did not have money attached to that on the agenda, it got moved to, we'll do a grant, or we'll find some money somewhere, or, whatever. And here we are tonight. This is the whatever. I don't want to miss the opportunity of seeing number 19 printed as it is. And thankfully, it's back on again. And thankfully, it has a vendor attached. But what it does not have, that the others had, was a dollar amount and an effective date. And I'm asking, as I stand, I don't want to go back to how that was, so I'm asking that to be clarified, please.
Thank you, Ms. Goggins. In the backup, there is a dollar amount, $248,205, but I would like to know effective date, if anybody can answer that question for Ms. Goggins.
I'll ask Steve to come and see if he can address that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We do not have the effective date on this one yet. When y'all approve it tonight so we can award this bid, I'll get that tomorrow and send it to Mr. Rosenthal, and he can email it to each one of you, and I'll personally let Ms. Goggins know when we're going to be able to actually start on it.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Brown. Now that we've had public comment, I'll now open it up for council comments, questions, or entertainment of motions to approve.
Mr. Mayor, move to approve City Council Resolution 2025-079.
I second.
A motion and a second. Thank you both. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Goggins. All right. Item number 20, City Council Resolution number 2025-081. This is task assignment 15 for Jones Edmonds. We don't have anybody signed up for public comment on this. Don, Dee, do you guys want to share anything on this task assignment, or no? It's not necessary, but okay.
If it's not necessary, Mayor, we won't do it.
Okay, thank you. We don't have any public comment on this, so I will open it up for council comments and questions. Seeing none, I will entertain also motions for City Council Resolution number 2025-081.
Mr. Mayor, move to approve City Council Resolution 2025-081.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion by the council? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right. Now we're on to our last item of the evening, which is 2021 or number 21, discussion and possible action, Richardson Community Center Summer Camp with Council Member Chevelle Young and Chief Butler.
They all go together, do they?
Chief Butler, come on up. Well, I don't know whoever's presenting.
That was the facial expression for me. Well, I'll start out by first of all introducing the director of Richardson Community Center. Thank you. Before I even call his name, we have Chris. State your name, sir. Chris Carrington. State your position, sir. Facility Director. Thank you so much. And we also have the Director for Summer Camp. State your name, ma'am.
I'm also representative for the Richardson Community Center Board of Directors, and I'm the director.
Okay, we have the two of them here, and I'm glad they're here so we can put a face with a name. Mr. Carradine has been carrying out for how long now, Mr. Carradine? 9 months, doing an outstanding job. He's a community guy, if I can say that. Works real hard, very popular when it comes to the young people, and we definitely need that in the community. And I'm pretty much going to turn it over to Chief Butler.
Thank you. Thank you. I spoke with Councilman Young, and suggestion was made last year. The City Council asked me to find proper uses for the Mariah Fund, Gun Violence Prevention. I've said before up here at the dais that the kids need something to do, that if not, the gangs are going to get them, and then the drugs, and then the guns go hand in hand with the gangs and the drugs. The proposal that is being made is to allow me to use money that's already allocated in the Mariah Fund to sponsor 50 children at the Richardson Community Center. The summer camp is ages 15 to 13. It'll give them something to do during the day instead of hanging out in the streets. We will have programs. We've spoken with Richardson, the police department, every week at least, on Tuesdays, I believe it is, from 1 to 2, we will have programs for the kids. The first one we will do, it's called the Eddie Eagle. It is Stop, Don't Touch, Stay Away from Guns. It's a gun safety program. They're age-specific, pre-K to kindergarten. It goes through different age groups, and there's actually a pamphlet for the parents also. What I'd like to mention also from the National Institute of Justice, role of police in preventing gang membership, and I'll quote, "To help prevent kids from joining gangs, law enforcement must move beyond their traditional role of a crime fighter to become a strong partner in prevention strategies. Because of their knowledge of and presence in the community, law enforcement officers are well suited to identify those youth at risk in joining gangs at an early age and to play a vital role in efforts to prevent gang joining, including service referrals. Law enforcement officers can build trust in communities by playing an active, visible role in front-end gang prevention activities. Collaboration with other groups such as schools, public health, community, and other public and private partnerships to prevent gang joining increases police legitimacy and credibility, particularly in at-risk communities and among at-risk youth." And again, the ideas that we have, and I've been working with my community relations coordinator and also in contact with Richardson, we will do the gun safety program. I'll probably do that twice, the beginning and toward the end. I will do a Meet a Police Officer Day where we'll bring patrol cars and some of our other equipment, sort of our version of a touch-a-truck, so the kids can see the police cars go around, talk to the officers. We'll do a crime scene fingerprinting activity day where they could go with my detectives, lift fingerprints, learn how officers do things. We will have a canine demo 1 week, so they'll see the canine officers and the canines. I'll have my ICAC, Internet Crimes Against Children unit, come down, social media safety and awareness, because a lot of the issues with the kids and with the gangs is through social media. I'll have my narcotics unit come out to do the dangers of drug and substances, and then also we'll try and find an event to do similar to something called Sneaker Ball. So a sneaker ball, not a game, but a dance kind of thing. This is all new to me, so I'm sorry if I'm trying to figure this out as far as sneaker, a ball with sneakers. They decorate sneakers. So what I'm asking for, the 50 children at $350 is $17,500 for the summer. Again, that takes care of 50 children. So from the original Mariah Fund, $25,000 was taken for summer youth employment. $2,600 is for the permanent memorial sign that is going in front of the home, and $17,500 for the summer camp. That will still leave a balance of $154,900, which I have tried to get organizations to give me ideas. However, just the money we have here reoccurring, this is something that we can continue to do for years. So right now for the children, the summer camp will take care of ages 5 to 13. our summer youth employment program, ages 16 to 18, and currently for the 13 to 16-year-olds, I'm going to be advocating at these for my Explorer program, which is currently up and running and is budgeted in the police department. So I'm asking for the $17,500, which is currently in the city budget under the Mariah Fund, for us to help sponsor the Richardson Community Center summer program.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Councilwoman Young?
And if I may, is it okay if I ask Ms. Nicole to come up?
Sure.
There are a few corrections. Thank you so much, Chief. Well done. First of all, we need to correct the age.
Yes. Good evening, Mayor and Council. The ages for the summer program are 5 through 13.
Right. We seem to always miss the 13 to 15-year-olds. And last year, we had enough time and enough space that we had a curriculum that included them.
We did.
But we're not that fortunate this year with time. So hopefully later, we will do something that will pull them in. And Chief has something that he's working on with that age. Now, how much is the per person? I know everybody's
Yes. Now, the registration amount is $350, and that's usually paid up front by the parents as they come to register the campers. Now, there is a per day trip fee that I've included in your packet on the calendar that you guys have. Those are the amounts that the students pay for the trip each day. So whatever's on there, that's what we pay directly to the vendor whenever we go on those different trips. And they can pay that by the day or by the week to kind of break that down as not having the whole lump sum of the $519 due up front.
Now, we will have to offer this to city residents, city youth, because of course it's city funds, right?
Okay.
And I don't particularly care for that, but it is what it is. And only 50 allowed this time. Now, I understand that it's up to 50 because some may have already registered. I'm not for sure.
Yes, ma'am.
So the other thing is to allow those who did not get the opportunity last year, because we had some who did not have the opportunity because of
we filled up
already.
and got started.
We didn't have any more space.
So we do have the roll from last year, so we'll be able to cross-check that during registration and make sure that if they hadn't received it, they'll be priority.
Okay, awesome. And I think everyone knows except the chief what a sneaker ball is. Sneaker ball.
Yes.
Explain that to me, because
theme is going
Chief
to
left
be-
me more confused, I think, than I would have been just reading that.
It's not a game.
It is not a game. It is not a game. It is like a sneaker prom. We're
okay.
going to go
Perfect.
with the theme of Choose Peace, and it'll be on our last day of camp this year, and it'll be open to everyone in the community. They'll get dressed up, and they'll wear their fancy sneakers with it instead of heels and church shoes. But they'll be able to dress in what they're comfortable in and come and have a good time and just kind of close out the summer program and get them ready for school.
Good. And what's so awesome about this is that law enforcement and administration, if you like, to put on your sneakers and participate.
We would love
Come
to
on,
see
man.
you down at the
Just about to
community
ask that.
center.
I got some pretty good shoes.
Yes, you gotta wear a suit with it.
Yeah,
you
bring
know.
out your Jordans and put 'em on.
Yes, so that for the sneaker ball. And the other thing is on the sneaker ball that we're not limited to summer camp youth.
That'll
will
be for
open
everyone.
to all youth age of the summer camp.
Of school age. We'll do school age. And so we can encompass those 14 through 16-year-olds that do come to the community center during the summer. Our summer camp isn't just exclusive to the students who come there. There is an open gym that is frequented by anywhere from 75 to 100 kids each day.
Awesome. And the last thing for me, it may have some other questions, but the last thing for me is that let us not forget that it will be a presentation, maybe opening presentation that will actually share with all of the youth about Mariah. And hopefully we can maybe include her family with this, if that's
Yeah, that's something that we can arrange, yep.
Yeah, so I think that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilwoman Young. Councilwoman Tarrant?
My problem with, what does the 350 cover?
I can't
You said does
break it
not-
down completely, but it does include our activities, our daily activities, our equipment, our curriculum.
What are the activities?
Well, if you see on the calendar that I gave you, not everything has a price. So the ones that don't have a price for the parents that we take care of. So like when we take them to the theme parks, we pay for those out of that fund, and then other monies that we're getting. We also have equipment and supplies. We do incorporate an educational component to our summer camp. So we have, there's an education moment each day where they're doing the STEM activities. We pride ourselves on being a STEM camp, and we do each one of those acronyms with the students weekly. So supplies, equipment, we do we do sports activities with them, so we'll have the equipment. We were able to incorporate technology through our game room, but we have to update those supplies as well. So the $350 is the breakdown of the actual components of running the program. We do have days where we have to provide food for them, so those are all things that come into the registration fee.
Is it true that the food normally comes from, whereas the city provide lunches for?
We do partner with the school district, usually Monday through Friday.
Come from there.
Primarily, yes. But there are days that we're having to feed the camp that it's coming out of those funds. Because they are closed on Friday, so we have to feed them each Friday. There's a week in July when it's closed, so we have to feed them that week as well.
My thing with this, because I was one of those parents that went through Richardson. And my problem is, it's always, let's just say you're bringing this to council now, but normally before that time comes, you already have 25 or 30 children that have already signed up. And it leaves only for some 20 more kids. It seems like the children are already pre-picked who's gonna be going before. And I'm going by what I know, not what somebody told me. And it was consistent every year. How can you assure me that this won't be one of those moments?
Registration just opened up on Monday of this week, so we have how many do we have?
So
We have
the
3
la-
spots
so-
closed right now.
So last year, it would not mimic this year's sign-up sheet.
No, we had different representation in place. One summer camp started yesterday. Last year it was done a little bit differently. I had the roster pretty much as it was gone. We've just started registration. All spots are available. Only have three people have signed up. So it's first come, first served to those 50. Registration is going on Monday through Friday at the Richardson Community Center from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
But they have to be city, right?
They have to be
City. Right.
I've
to
got,
get the funds.
I've got a quick question. Is the ask for, well, if you're, sorry about that.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just trying to sum up the dollar amount, 17,500. Is that correct?
That was the dollar amount we were asking for, and that's just the $350 for the registration costs. There'll
Sorry.
still be the daily fee trips that they'll be responsible for.
Thank you. Councilwoman Harris, did you have anything else? Sorry.
Okay, you have 50 children, but we know most of the inner city children, a parent normally has 3 to 4 kids, right? So I know that in previous times, how would you say, would you give that to all 4 children? Say if a mother comes in and she has 4 children, would you give that all to 4 children, or would you tell her, okay, you need to probably come up maybe 2 and we'll pay for 2?
Well, if you guys are covering the 50 that we're taking those 50, then it would be, if she's able to bring in her 4, then they would get them, yes. I don't think we could say only 2 of your kids can come if you can't raise the money
y'all
for the
done
other
did
2.
it before now.
No.
Don't, y'all done did that before.
We didn't have full funding on the table for
I don't know what
for
it
summer
was,
camp.
but I know you did it before.
If I may say,
I'm
Well,
not through
yeah,
talking.
Ms. Harris, please.
I'm not through talking.
well, go ahead.
I'm not through talking. The other thing of it is, you're asking for $350 per child. Will there be any receipts of what this money is spent to?
We have a budget that we can, and we've produced that in the past where we've had to do it on a reimbursement basis to get the funds. So we have a budget on how that breaks down, and we can provide that to the council.
I suggested, I would really love to see it. I would really, and I think the rest of the council need to see it as well.
Okay.
I'm done.
Thank you, Councilwoman Harris. Councilwoman Young?
If I may say, and there are 3 already registered, because when I spoke with Mr. Carradine, it was one day last week, and I said, well, please allow those who did not have the opportunity last year to get an opportunity this year. He say, well, Ms. Nicole said there's already a few waiting. I said, well, if they're willing to pay, go ahead and allow them to do so if they want to pay. So they chose to pay and not say,
Could you come up to the?
Out of the three, one paid and the other two signed up waiting to see if there would be any kind of funding.
okay, so but we can't do that though. We can't put them, I'm just saying, let's not put them on the list and wait for the funding. That's what I was trying to prevent. But
I
I
tried
understand.
to too. They're not on a list. They
Okay,
just
okay, I
they
understand.
I got 3 applications turned in.
Okay, I understand.
That's what I'm saying.
I
and
understand. It's okay.
Most of them are.
Yeah.
They
So
know it was
to
free last year. So
to answer the question about the families, if someone come up and have, I think last year we didn't do multiple youth in one family. Is that right?
We did.
We did? Okay, because I thought we was on the same page with only, it was either 1 or 2 per family. If a person come up and have 5, then don't get 5 slots, because we do have to allow other families the opportunity. Do you agree?
I do.
Okay.
So do we need to set that perimeter then, if that's what we want to do?
So no more than maybe 2 per family?
And then the others would pay?
Yeah.
I'm okay with that until we
Okay.
get to our 50 slots full. I just do want to say that we've been doing the summer camp for many, many years. The $350 has not been raised in the last 5 years. Summer camp is not a money-making program for the Richardson Community Center. Last year, we did receive $350 per child for each camper, but it was advertised as a no-cost program. So the Richardson Community Center paid the $160 or so for the trips for each child. So no child had to pay anything last
Yeah.
year. And that was about $15,000 over the budget that we had already put for summer camp, but we wanted to make sure that it was something that we put out there, that we are behind, we support it. We've been running it since 2008. We try to keep it as affordable as we can. If you look at the cost of childcare, you can't find $350 for a summer camp anywhere in this area.
And that's what I was gonna say. $350 is not a lot for a summer camp, and that's for the entire summer.
It's a 7-week program. It breaks down to about $50 a week.
Nowhere else.
So if you're at,
So Councilman Carter's been waiting, and then
Okay.
you, Ms. Harris. Councilman Carter.
I just want to go on the record first saying I think this is an excellent use of the Mariah Fund. So I'm glad that we're finally putting it to use. I know it's just kind of been sitting there for a couple of years now. Glad that the PDs get involved, and we're going to have all that. Also glad we were able to fund the summer youth program. Only a couple of things I think are important. As with any other funds that we provide in this way, would like to see a budget, would like to receive receipts, et cetera, et cetera. The city and the taxpayers deserve to know where the money's being spent and how. So I think that's just my opinion across the board on any time we give any money to anybody. And also, this has been a topic a lot of times in the past, and this may already be taken care of as well because of the center being owned by the county. But I think we need to make sure we have background checks on the people running the event that we're giving money to and the board. It doesn't have to be every single volunteer. That kind of gets untenable, but I think the board of the organization, and like I said, that may already exist because of its partnership with the county, but I just want to make sure that everyone that's administering this has passed that, and we get receipts. Otherwise, I think it's an excellent use of the funds. And I think furthermore, if we decide to go forward with funding this, we should go ahead and get it back in front of the council soon on whether or not we want to use funds from the Mariah Fund to fund it next year. So next year, it's not registration open 2 days ago. Can we have money for it? Well, how about we start planning for it? And quite frankly, there's enough funds in the Mariah Fund now to fund this program for several years. So I think we can, especially if this is a success, getting the PD involved with all of the events, I think we need to preemptively prepare for that way ahead of time next time, so that there's no question while you're planning. Certainly, it seems inconvenient to have to wait and hope, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Councilman Carter. Councilwoman Harris.
so if you're asking for $350 per child, and for 50 children, it's $17,500, you said, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So what if 25 parents pay for theirs? Would you be reimbursing the city their 25 for the other 25 children that's not being used for children to sign up?
Well, they're gonna take up to 50. We'll take up to 60 in the camp. You guys are gonna pay for up to 50, but whatever out of that 50 we don't use, then we have no problem reimbursing.
Councilwoman Young.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, this is what I was gonna say. Richardson didn't ask for this. Chief and myself has discussed events, and he's gone out and talked with several people, several entities, if I can say, about coming up with some type of event or program for the Mariah Fund that we voted on. So I mentioned to him about the summer camp. We already have it in place, is what I said, and asked him if he will have Ashley, is that her name? Mm-hmm. Ashley, to talk with Nicole and see what they can work out. So that's why we're here. Richardson didn't ask. They didn't ask for this. And last year, they were in the midst of a new director. We have an awesome director now, and it's no doubt in my mind that this program is not run no other way than professional. So with that, I would like to make a motion on whatever the chief is asking for. Have him to come back up.
There's one more discussion piece, and then just for the sake of public comment. So once the motion is made, we will open up public comment. We'll have public comment and then move back into council. So, Ms. Harris.
Let me be very clear when I say this. This is a great idea. It always has been. My problem is it has been stated and substantiated, whereas money has been misspent through Richardson Gym. That is my whole problem with that. So it's a great idea, like I say. Just, I don't want to be a part of this diocese, whereas it's being said that we should have known better because of the past, your past record. Not saying you two per se, but you know.
We were able to get money from the city in the past 2 years, and we did it on a reimbursement basis. So we have no problem providing receipts. Yes,
I
ma'am.
wasn't here.
So we have no problem.
But I do have an idea that Ms. Young brought up a while back when I think she told Chief when she was talking about the safety, the bike safety.
That's going to be in September.
Oh,
It was
okay.
supposed
I thought
to
that
happen.
was a great
yeah,
idea.
It was supposed to happen in June, but due to some circumstances, it pushed to September.
Gotcha.
All right. So, would somebody like to make the motion so that we get? Thank you guys very much. Thank you very much.
Yes, we do. T-shirts is a part of the camp. That's part of also the registration fee. You get a shirt.
Perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So now we'll move. If someone would like to make a motion, then we'll open it up for public comment. So,
Motion?
yeah, I'm
Okay.
entertaining.
I make the motion that Richardson Community Center is awarded $17,500.
Thank you. On a reimbursement basis, correct? No.
It's not reimbursed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definite receipts.
Accountability will.
We have a motion and a second. Thank you. Now we'll have discussion. So I will open this up for public comment. Didn't have this. So why don't you come to the dais? Sorry, Ms. Goggins from.
Carter had brought up the Mariah funding, and it could go on. I was asking about T-shirts. What is the logo going to be on the T-shirt?
It's usually different. It varies from year to year.
Do we want to suggest maybe because it is in the name of Mariah, maybe her picture or something? Because you think if you want to make her a forefront of like why they are learning about it, this is what I was just going to ask before the vote. But if a T-shirt with Mariah picture, her picture,
Maybe the wording, maybe in memory of.
Right. I don't.
yes. and that- What do you?
I don't know that I would
Well,
do the picture.
hold on.
but-
Is that the question? Are you finished, Ms. Goggins?
I'm finished, but.
Thank you.
Only because you said you all have money that could go on for a few, and you're doing it in the.
Come back up to the. If you're going to speak, we have to have you. So this is for the benefit of the public, right? So speaking to the mic,
And
please.
if they're doing it in the name of Mariah funding, I was just asking if that, perhaps we could put a picture or something on those T-shirts? Or
There
in
w-
memory of?
Is that?
It's just a.
We got to make sure that. Are you completed?
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Goggins. All right.
There will be presentations for Mariah, but I don't, for the memory of a Mariah, but I don't know that I would say T-shirts. I would leave that up to Richardson.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that it from the public who are present? Thank you. I will now close public comment and open it back up to the council. Councilman Carter, you've been waiting.
Obviously, I've already spoken support of the use of the money for these things, but I want to make sure, does the motion need to include, or does anybody know the answer I had to the question about background checks?
They already do background checks.
They do that anyway.
Okay. All right. And then the same thing, I feel like the motion should have something in regards to how we
fund it.
Well, yeah, whether it's reimbursed, or whether we write them a check, or but also how they're going to provide accountability to us for how the money is spent. I feel like that should be part of it. Just want to make so that it is very clear.
I don't know that we need to be so specific that we tell them how to present accountability, but we haven't had a problem with Richardson providing accountability. This board, I don't know about all that other stuff. This board, this is not their first time getting money. So
I think, Mr. Mayor, may I?
Yeah, please.
I think there's probably a pretty standard way this is done. Maybe Ms. Taylor can shed some light on how we go about the reimbursement and the documentation process for these things.
not reimbursement.
I'm
It's
sorry.
we're granting them $17,500. This is not a reimbursement.
I used the word wrong.
not
I
what-
just meant accountability.
That's not what we said, though.
That's what he just said.
No, I asked her the question, if 25 parents pay for their children, the other 25 that we were gonna pay for, will we get that money back? Her response was, yes, we'll get it back. So that is what he's talking about.
I said up to 50. It's already not going to be 50 because one has already paid. So it's up to 50. That's how it was last year. We had up to 100. Isn't that right? We only paid for the number which were enrolled under the city grant, if I can call it. The grant.
I don't wanna leave no loose monies out there.
Okay.
If you're gonna spend it for what you say, if you're gonna spend it for children to sign up, whatever is left over, it should come back to the city, period. Because you're asking for money for them to sign up, which is $350 per child. So if you don't spend all of the money, the city should get reimbursed.
Up to 50.
Well, we're just gonna say
Youth.
50. If 50,
Can't
if
say
17.
50.
Hold on. Let's not speak over each other. So Councilwoman Harris, you're speaking, and then Councilman Carter is queued, and then Councilwoman Young. So Councilwoman Harris.
If you're asking for the money for up to 50, and you only spend for 20 children, I think that the other 30 or whatever monies is left over should go back to the fund, to the Mariah Fund.
Understood. Now listen at this. They won't even get the money until
So
after
the-
registration.
So Councilman Carter, and then you, Hold on.
Right.
Hold on. Guys, we got to have some order here. So are you finished, Councilwoman Harris? Thank you. Councilman Carter,
I
and
think
then Councilwoman
I
Young.
could be wrong, but I think the intention is clear. We're agreeing to fund up to 50 children. They're now knowing that they're going to open up registration, and the first 50 children to sign up will be paid for by this. And so that's why I think it's clear to specify. Generally speaking, this sort of thing is actually, I think, done by reimbursement. So they come to us and say 38 kids signed up, and we give them $350 per kid, or they say 58 sign up, so we give them the amount that would pay for 50 of it. Right, so it is a reimbursement thing. I feel like when they get the sign up, they know the amount, and then we reimburse them for up to 50. And in addition to that, I think we should require them to show us their budget and how they're spending that money. I think that's perfectly reasonable.
Is that fair? Is that fair to you guys? If you'd like to step back.
Satisfied.
As far as the reimbursement, that's fine. We can go ahead and reimburse for the registrations that are up front. I just didn't want it to be like, okay, each trip we have to wait for a reimbursement. If I'm paying for this, then I have to turn that receipt in and wait for that check. No, the $350 up front, if we can go ahead and let you know after the first week what do we have starting for registration, give you that, we'll get that for that many students.
It's essentially be a verification of children. Vice Mayor Young, sorry.
The last day of registration.
It'll be, we start camp on the 9th, so whatever that Friday is.
Okay, so last day of registration is when we normally get the report. When we get the report, we issue the funds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of how many? That's what.
Verification of children. Very good. Thank you. All right. Well, now that that's been hashed out, yes, ma'am.
May I ask a clarification question? There was discussion about only city children could use the funds. Does that need to be built into the motion, or is that just kind of known by everyone?
That's a. Would you
Well-
like to build that into the motion?
Yeah, we didn't put it in the motion, I don't think, with the work camp, but I can put it in the motion.
If you feel, I mean, I didn't know, I know you guys had talked about it, so if that's how you'd like the funds to be spent and you're putting those parameters, I did not know if y'all felt it was important we put it in the motion or not.
Understand. I appreciate it. So it's for city residents only, the 50, sponsored, I'm gonna say, by the city of Lake City.
Just real quick.
I'd like to do all, but
Yeah, of course.
it is what it is.
Mr. Johnson, Ms. Taylor, did you guys have something to add to that? Oh, I saw some discussion.
I was just going to ask who was going to verify, where the students live, who was going to verify
ID.
if they're in the city limits.
ID.
That was before you finished your
Oh,
comment.
Okay, all right, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. All right. So we have a motion. We have a second. We've had discussion. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Sykes, please call the roll.
May I repeat the motion just so everyone's clear?
Please.
Okay. Motion to grant funds in the amount of up to $17,500 to Richardson Community Center to sponsor up to 50 children at $350 each from the Mariah funds. The motion also includes that the funds are only to be utilized for city children only. Did that capture everything, Ms. Young?
I think so.
Okay.
Sounds right.
All right. Ms. Young? Okay. Oh, did we have a motion for that? I had a motion, but I don't think I had a
Yeah, we have
second.
a motion. Councilwoman Harris seconded it.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, Ms. Young?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Mr. Carter?
Yay.
Mayor Walker?
Yes. All right, perfect. Those are all the items that we have. Now we're moving into comments. We have nothing from Department Administration, so comments by charter officers, starting with you, Mr. Don Rosenthal.
I'm sorry, Mayor.
Comments? We're at the end of our meeting, so now it's time for pay attention, Don.
I don't have any, Mayor, but I think the assistant city manager has one.
Mr. Johnson?
I would just like to send my condolences out to the Betty Lane family. I'm not sure if everybody's familiar with Miss Betty Lane. She has been a pillar in this community for a long time, so I just want to send my condolences out to the family.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Martin?
No comments.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Ms. Sykes?
No, Dee covered what I was going to mention. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Young?
You say that like I'm gonna take long. I'm not. I'd just like to thank Ms. Callum and Mr. Carradine for coming and waiting so long. I didn't know it was gonna take this long. Yeah, I didn't know you were that far. But you're new business. But we say the best for last, and the last get the jelly glass. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Young. Councilman Jernigan. Thank you, Mr. Jernigan. Councilman Carter.
I'm sorry, what? Council.
Sorry, Councilman Carter.
It's bedtime.
No,
sorry, sir.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have only one question.
Deserved, yeah.
What's a jelly jar?
Jelly glass, I think.
Oh,
is
what's the
what
jelly
it
glass?
said,
Oh, okay. Oh,
gotcha.
okay. There we go. Jelly beans. All right, cool. Nothing at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Carter. Councilwoman Harris.
You got that right. I just want to thank Scott and Don number 2 for the ride along that we did today. Very informative, and I'm thankful for them.
All right.
And D too. He did nothing, but I'm thankful for them.
All right. And now it's on to me. So we do have the Lake City, Columbia County Annual Public Safety Memorial tomorrow. That's May 20th. It's going to be at Parkview Baptist Church, 6:30 p.m. So if you'd like to attend, we will have a proclamation there. I also have a memorial. The man who inducted me into Rotary, Pearlie Richardson, has passed away. Also a great senior citizen in our community, and he will be missed as well. And then I just wanted to say, summer camp is what made me love my community growing up. So I'm excited that we're able to do this, and thank you guys for coming. It was a long wait, but that's it, and that's all I have.
We'll do a proclamation for Betty Lane?
We will. Well, we can, but we're doing a proclamation tomorrow for public safety, is what I was saying. All right, and that's
Mayor,
yes.
you want to announce that?
Oh, sorry. There's also on Saturday, June 28th, 2025 at 10 a.m. We will be having a town hall hosted by Councilwoman or the council, but Councilmember Tammy Harris, Richardson Community Center, I believe is what we have there. All right. So that's all we got. Have a good night.